Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of This Week in BJJ. I'm Budo Jake, and today is June 17th, and I'm reporting to you from Japan. So I want to keep you guys updated with all the latest things, even if I'm in the country or not. We got 5 big topics to talk about today, and then we're going to have an interview with Julio Cesar. He's the leader of GF Team, and he's also going to show some techniques, and also his students are going to show some techniques too. All right, let's get to it. Okay, first thing to talk about is our new sponsor for the show, Kali Cure. Now we get a lot of requests for companies to sponsor our show, and we only like to take the ones that we really believe in. Kali Cure is a great bunch of guys that made a product that solves a real problem among grapplers, and that is cauliflower ear. Now if you're like me and you don't like the looks of cauliflower ear, this is the perfect solution for it. You can do it right at your own home. Check it out on BudoVideos.com. Just search for Kali Cure. Next up, if you have been watching the show BJJ vs. Cancer with Jack Taufer, it's a free show that we have on YouTube. Jack's been sharing a lot of really cool invisible jiu-jitsu, and he just announced that he's going to have a seminar. The seminar is on July 18th, and it's going to have 5 instructors. Jack will be teaching himself, and also Henry Akins will be there, Dave Kama, Hiron Gracie, and myself. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Each instructor is going to teach for 1 hour. I don't have the location yet, but it's going to be in SoCal. So if you guys are going to be around on July 18th, it should be a lot of fun. And the proceeds are going to go to Jack's nephew for his mom's cancer treatment. So anyway, I'll keep you guys updated as in the weeks to come when we've determined the location, but I hope you guys can make it out. I know it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. Next up, new DVD from Gutavo Dantas called Mental BJJ. As many of you know that have competed, the mental aspect is huge in Jiu-Jitsu. Gutavo Dantas is the only guy that's really put a lot of time and effort into analyzing what those skills are that you need to work on to have a stronger mental state when you compete. So check out his new DVD set. It's a 4 DVD set on BudoVideos.com. 2 more things. Next up is a new episode of Rolled Up. This is the one we filmed a little while back with Saulo and Shanji Ribeiro down in San Diego, and it's a lot of fun. I think you're going to like it a lot. Let's take a look at a preview clip.
I think that sometimes we search so much for the secret position, we search so much for the win, we search so much to feel confident about ourselves that we are not thinking about getting better. Because the whole thing about jiu-jitsu is get better. Get better.
Okay, hope you guys like that one. It should be out in another week or so, that episode of Rolled Up. Now, the last thing to talk about today, before we get to the main interview, is a new announcement from 5 Grappling. So, as you know, 5 Grappling started in a couple years ago, 2013. They started having tournaments all over the US and Canada. Now they're doing something totally new. They're doing a professional super fight event and a professional tournament. This one is going to be at Studio 540, and it's going to have a lot of big names, men and women. We don't have all the fighters' names so far, but so far confirmed are Yuri Simoes, Tammi Musmeci, Joao Assis, Fabiana Borges, and Bruno Bastos. Rumor is that some of the other athletes that competed in other 5 events throughout the past couple of years might also be there, including Mackenzie Dern. So stay tuned for more information on who's joining. But it's going to be 2 different tournaments, a men's tournament and a women's tournament. 8 men and 8 women all fighting in their each respective tournaments. And the prize money is the same for the men and the women. That's the first for the sport. $10,000 to first place, second place gets $5,000, and third place gets $2,500. So for updates on the competitor list, go to facebook.com/5grappling, F-I-V-E grappling. And there's going to be 2 super fights. We don't know who they are yet, but one of them is rumored to be a highly anticipated rematch. The event will be broadcasted live on BudoVideos.com, so you know it's going to be a quality stream. And there's going to be a very limited live audience because it's going to be held at Studio 540. Okay guys, that's all the news for this week. Now we're going to go to an interview and techniques by Julio Cesar. He is the leader of the GF team. And not only did Julio talk a lot about the team, but he also talks about the different social classes and which teams they're generally affiliated with, which I thought was really interesting. And then we go to the mat, and Julio teaches a couple really cool guard passes. And then a lot of different GFT team members get together and show some of their favorite moves. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. Let's get to Julio Cesar with GFT.
Master Julio, I've traveled all around the world and visited a lot of different academies, but I've never been to a GF Team school, and it's an honor to be talking to you, the founder of GF Team. So thank you for the interview.
Ele viaja o mundo todo, já foi em várias academias, mas nunca teve a oportunidade de fazer uma entrevista na GF Team. Ele tá honrado por ter essa oportunidade.
Muito obrigado.
So many people know GF Team because of some of your students, Ricardo Evangelista, Vitor Henrique, Rodolfo Vieira, Igor Silva, so many really talented competitors, but people don't know much about you. Can you start and tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into Jiu-Jitsu, who you trained with?
As pessoas conhecem a GF Team pelos seus alunos, como ele citou o nome de alguns, mas poucas pessoas conhecem você, o Júlio. Você poderia falar um pouco sobre você?
Claro, eu iniciei Jiu-Jitsu em 74.
He started Jiu-Jitsu in 1974.
E naquela época as pessoas ficavam perguntando o que eu ia fazer da vida.
Back on the day, people would ask him, what are you gonna do in your life?
Mandavam procurar um emprego, trabalhar.
Asking him to get a job.
E eu sempre fiz Jiu-Jitsu porque eu gostava. Eu nunca me preocupei, nunca imaginei de chegar onde chegou.
And he always trained Jiu-Jitsu because of he loved, but he never could imagine that the Jiu-Jitsu would be where he's at right now.
Muitos amigos meus, faixas pretas ou faixas marrons, que treinaram comigo, se arrependem hoje. Queriam que eu voltasse ao tempo e fazer o que eu fiz.
A lot of his friends that black belts and brown belts, they regret to being stopped in Jiu-Jitsu. They would like the time goes back and they could do what he did on Jiu-Jitsu.
E através do Jiu-Jitsu, né, eu me formei em Educação Física, pós-graduei e alimento minha família, todo mundo, toda aí.
Yeah. And through Jiu-Jitsu, he went to Physical Education University, he got his master, and that's how he feed his family, and he's here now because of Jiu-Jitsu.
There are many different reasons why people fall in love with Jiu-Jitsu. Sometimes it's for competition, sometimes it's for health, sometimes they just enjoy beating people up. What was it that really secured his love for the art?
As pessoas fazem Jiu-Jitsu por razões diferentes, por competição, por aprender um esporte, e porque às vezes elas gostam de bater nos outros. Qual foi a sua razão que você se apaixonou pelo esporte?
Na realidade, eu tinha um peito maior que o outro e o médico sugeriu que fizesse algum esporte. E eu achei que fosse judô. Na época, e entrei, quando no primeiro dia eu já gostei e fiquei até hoje.
In reality, he had one side of his chest was bigger than the other. And the doctor told him, to his mom, would it be good for him to do a sport regularly? And he went to judo. And when right there, I like it. The first day, he never left.
As pessoas nem sabiam, naquela época nem sabiam o que era Jiu-Jitsu.
And back on the day, people didn't even know what Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, imagine 1974, right?
And who are you training with for most of your career?
Com quem que você treinou na maior parte da sua carreira?
De faixa branca até a faixa preta, foi com o Munir Salomão, que foi aluno do Oswaldo Fada.
From white to black belt was Munir Salomão, one master that was a student straight from Oswaldo Fada.
Mm-hmm. So your lineage is pretty unique in that it does not involve any Gracies. Most of the other schools have a connection to one Gracie or another. Do you think that makes your school unique?
A sua linhagem é única, não tem nenhum envolvimento com a família Gracie. E a maioria das pessoas tem algum certo de envolvimento na família Gracie. Você não acha que isso faz a sua academia única por esse motivo?
Não, única não, porque existem outras academias oriundas do FAD, entendeu? Eu acho que a nossa academia conseguiu chegar ao topo do mundo, mas não é única.
Yeah, he said that he wouldn't say unique because over there we have many other academies with the same lineage, but his academy, could get to the top, on the competition level. So, but he doesn't consider as unique.
What are your views on the Gracie family? Do you view them as adversaries, or do you view them as just an integral part of the art? Since you're not connected to the Gracie family, I'd be curious to know what your views are.
Queria saber qual a sua visão, a sua opinião sobre a família Gracie. São adversários? São a parte importante no cenário do esporte? Qual seria a sua opinião sobre eles?
Eu acho que muito importante pro cenário mundial, porque foram eles que difundiram o jiu-jitsu para o mundo.
He said it's very important to the world scenario because they are the one who spread the jiu-jitsu worldwide.
If you were to characterize GF team, what would you say? For example, when I think about your team, I think of the four guys I mentioned earlier, just really tough athletes. How would you characterize GF team?
Como você caracterizaria a GF Team? Porque no ponto de vista dele, citando os 4 atletas que ele citou, é realmente uma equipe muito dura. Como que você caracterizaria a sua equipe?
Teve um antes e depois. No Brasil, por ser cultural, a gente tem que fazer uma faculdade, e nós tínhamos o Bruno Malfacini, que treinou conosco de amarelo até a faixa preta. E quando ele saiu, eu vi que tinha alguma coisa errada. Por que ele saiu? Se ele é bicampeão mundial na faixa preta. Aí eu passei a ver o lado, já estava começando a viajar, então eu passei a ver o lado mais profissional. Onde veio o Rodolfo e eu pedi para o pai não estudar, para que se segurasse um pouco, que ele poderia viver bem de jiu-jitsu.
He said there's before and after. He had Bruno Malfacini. He trained with him from yellow to black, and he was 2 times world champion. He left the team, right? Went to Alliance, and he stopped and he asked why he's leaving. He's 2 times world champion, because there's a lot of pressure for people in Brazil to go to school, get a college. And after he saw that, he said, I need to be a little bit more professional on that. So he talked to Rodolfo's dad and asking him, please, give him a chance to focus on jiu-jitsu, because he's gonna live well from the art. So that's the after would be that professionalism.
E hoje a gente consegue também ter 6, 7 meninos do Nordeste morando no Rio e acreditando nesse sonho.
Yeah, and nowadays there's people from northeast of Brazil in the States coming and live on the headquarters of GF Team, believing on that dream.
How important are competition results for you? For Alliance, it seems like that's the number one thing they care about, is how they perform in competition. Is competition that important for you and your team?
Ele está perguntando qual a importância do resultado da competição para você, porque aparentemente, na visão dele, a Alliance é o que eles mais se preocupam, é o resultado. E qual seria a sua opinião em relação a isso?
Eu sempre me preocupei na formação do cidadão, na formação do homem. Eu tenho projetos sociais no Brasil em que as pessoas não pagam nada para fazer jiu-jitsu. E o campeão é uma consequência desse trabalho.
He always thought about on the human being and build characters, build men on the society. He has a lot of we call social projects in Brazil that he runs that people don't pay to train jiu-jitsu. And the champions, it's a consequence of that.
I'd like to know what the training environment is like at the GF Team headquarters in Brazil. My impression is that it's a lot of hard training all day long. But is it structured like a normal class, or what is a typical class like?
Ele tá curioso de saber como que é o treino na GF Team no MER, no Brasil. É uma aula, tem uma estrutura de uma aula normal. Explica para ele como é que é a estrutura de lá de treino.
De manhã a gente costuma fazer posição, 2 horas de posição, só posição.
In the morning, it's 2 hours of drill only.
À tarde, de 2 até umas 5 horas, é só treino, só ritmo de competição, muita pilha nos alunos para eles poderem botar o mais próximo da competição possível.
On the afternoon, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. is the actually competition train, with a lot of motivation and mindset for them to be as close as possible on the competitive atmosphere.
É o trabalho muito psicológico deles ali. Ali é o psicológico direto, como se fosse mais próximo do campeonato possível.
That's where he really goes on the psychological effect, pushing the person to the limit as close as possible to the day of the competition. Pressure.
You are obviously an excellent coach and an excellent team leader. What do you think are the main requirements to be a good leader?
Você obviamente é um ótimo técnico, um ótimo líder da equipe. Na sua opinião, quais são os requerimentos para uma pessoa ser um ótimo líder como você?
Lidar com o ser humano é difícil. Atleta também é muito complicado. Mas por eu ter sido atleta e ver a dificuldade de ser um atleta de alto rendimento, que eu também tudo que eu lutei, graças a Deus, consegui conquistar. Não teve um título que me ficou faltando. Então eu sei muito bem a necessidade de cada um para chegar ao topo do pódio.
Yeah, he said that dealing with human beings is very complicated, especially athletes, right? Different variations of personalities. And because he was a full-time competitor and he accomplished all the titles that back in the day he accomplished that. So make it easy for him to have the vision what a high-level athlete needs to have to be able to go on the highest space on the podium.